Hello there, and welcome to Bilty's Business Book Review number 4. Hope you're enjoying the series too so far. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to get these brought straight to you without having to think about them in the future. We're going through an interesting time when quite a lot of us are wondering about what the future is going to be like after this period of isolation and what have you. And if you look back in history, we've had other times like this, and it was usually in the kind of challenging times people come out and reinvent themselves, and certainly that's what we're going to be doing as individuals, as companies, and as society going forward. And I think it's a fantastically exciting time. Challenging, don't get me wrong, and there are people dying, so obviously there's a real heavy downside to all of this. But on the upside, we will reinvent ourselves as a business. And if you look back at challenging times before, there's some fantastic work done by John Maynard Keynes, who I'll come on to later on, Dale Carnegie, again, and somebody I'll come on to later in the series, a guy called Ronald Coase, who worked out what were companies, and looking at businesses going forward. What is a company? I mean, I always look at it as a bag of people aligned to deliver something. And Ronald Coase, back in 1937, came up with an analysis. The reason that companies exist is simply because it is the most expeditious way, the easiest way, the lowest cost way of organising labour and stuff to produce products. And this book, which is called Crowdsourcing by a guy called Jeff Howe, is looking at reinventing things going forward. So if you look at how we, normal contracts of employment, then we have the gig economy. This was written about 10 years ago. And the fascinating thing is the examples that he cites in this book, you now know about as titans of industry. At the time, Amazon was a bookseller. But now, of course, it's an anything seller. And it looks at the examples of how they have engaged with the businesses that are out there and the people that are out there. Because the analysis is come up with, which is absolutely right, is that the brightest people are always outside your business, no matter how good the people are inside your business. Clearly, by definition, there is so many people outside your business. And so if you can engage them, if you could crowdsource them insight, improvements, and opportunities to engage with them, quite often you can move much further ahead. And if you look at Amazon, and if you look at Google, and you look at all of the big companies now, they do a massive amount of crowdsourcing, of rankings, of the buying behavior, big analysis and stuff like that you can use to drive your business forward. And there'll be a new term going forward, things like digital harvesting. So you how do you harvest the ideas and then you plant them for the next one, so you seed it for the future generations of what you're doing. And what he says in this book is that we used to rely on professionals, the people with the qualifications, the people who are known to us to give you that insight and what have you. And now there is a millions of amateurs who are equally passionate, but look at it slightly differently. Look at what you're trying to do in a slightly different way. And crowdsourcing kind of comes up to use that skill set to deliver exceptional performance for your business. And you engage them not just on a monetary front, quite often not on a monetary front, but on an appreciation, on a recognition. And in Webmart, I use this to come up with our triple bottom line, as we call it, the intellectual, emotional, and financial return. So we look to maximize the intellectual return that people get for working at Webmart and alongside Webmart, both client side and supply side. We then, if we can intellectually add value, the most value that we can to the people that work with us and for us, then they enjoy it. Because if you're being fulfilled, you're being the best that you can be, then of course you enjoy doing that work. And if you intellectually the best you can be, and you enjoy doing it. People like working with people like that, so you get the financial return as an outcome of that. And that's how I use this and Maslowian hierarchy of needs. So Maslow, if you've not read it, there'll be another one later on, is where you want people to be at the top of the pyramid, and the bottom is the kind of basic stuff of security, which is obviously why we've committed to people's salaries at Webmart. We're paying our suppliers early at Webmart, which allows us to build that security going forward. And so people will work with us at the top of that pyramid, which is the self-actualization, the realization of the very best that they can be. So this is where you then start using the crowdsourcing book to build a community rather than a company. And that's what you need to do going forward from here. And I'll just finish on page 83, which I thought was particularly pertinent for the times that we're going through now, want to think of. Well worth a read, this book. It said, that's page 83, the aim is to build a new system. You don't need to compete with the old one. To build a new system, you make the old one obsolete. And that's what we're going to be doing going forward from here. You're not trying to compete with what you were trying to compete with. You're trying to compete in a paradigm shift away, a different way, a better way from doing it. And it will be digital delivery. It will be crowdsourcing. So those barriers to your business will have to break down. You can't ring fence things. It's not like the old days we used to build a moat round things and people couldn't get in and out. It's osmosis now, so you need to harvest it. And this book by Jeff Howe, Crowdsourcing, gives you some fantastic handy hints of how to do it. And if you want to go straight to the punchline, page 280, it tells you how to go about it. So I hope that's been useful. And so as I say, subscribe to the next one and the future of them. I've got quite a few to go through. There's been books on there, and I've got another box down there. So hopefully you'll find these interesting. And if there's any feedback that you want to give, any improvements you think I can do to these videos, there's now 4 of them, please let me know. And any books that I should be reading, let me know as well. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.